lye. I'm making lye soap, and the ingredients are lard, water, and lye. They normally made soap twice a year when they would do their butchering in the spring and in the fall, and that's when they would make soap and they would make candles. And they would render the fat down and use it with the lye. And their lye was made by taking an oak box, putting wood ashes in them, and pouring water through. And at the consistency, they kept doing that, and the consistency would be if you could float an egg on that liquid, it was lye. So then they would know that it was ready to be used. And mine's boiling over. It always does. I figured that's just part of the process. But anyway, when it's the consistency of thick honey, I'll be able to pour it off into boxes. I put a cloth down, and we will pour it in, and then overnight it is the consistency of a hard butter. I can cut it into blocks, and there you have your lye soap. I just lift the fabric out and use it that way. The fabric gets maybe 2 or 3 uses before the lye has eaten through the fabric that I'm using. So that has been used one time and has been sitting for quite some time. But when you use your water, depending on the ore content in your water, will determine what color your soap is. I have made soap at many sites. I was in Cumberland Gap at a site there, and it was the most beautiful peacock blue. I've made it in Wilmington, and it was green. The normal color, though, for most sites is kind of the gray and orangey color. But there's one site I've actually been able to make pure white soap. And it was so white they put it in the gift shop to sell. So my husband the reason I started making soap was because he likes to use it at home, and that's what he uses in the shower. It does not lather up, but it does clean things. We've got friends that's a blacksmith, and that's all he uses on his hands. It is not harsh like many people think. I use quite a bit of lard, and it makes it more moisturizing than drying. But it's great for poison oak and poison ivy and bug bites, that type of thing. But it's a long process. You start it first thing in the morning, and by dinner time I should be able to pour this out into a form. And it's just because of the quantities that I'm making that I need to use that. If you make it at a small quantity, you could actually just pour it out into a cloth and then cut it when it hardens a little bit.